I have to legit turn off my fan when I sit down to record this because I'm sure या तो fan का आवाज़ या तो AC का आवाज़ आ ही जाना है, and right now today is ideally not the best day to turn off the fan. You guys, if you don't know, I live in one of the hottest cities in India. Yes, you heard that right. I don't live in Nagpur, but I live pretty close to Nagpur, and the heat is too intense. The day it does not rain, the heat is unbearable. Like, genuinely unbearable. Anyways, I am very, very grateful to every single one of you who take time out to hear me talk about anything and everything. I'm so grateful. Like, I'm absolutely blown away, and imagine myself just bowing down my head and like thanking you so much for supporting me. It means a lot. Like, there is nothing I won't talk to you guys about that I talk with my besties on call. My friend, my one of my best friend called me the other day and she told me, I heard your podcast and you exactly sound like the conversations we have. It's the exact same conversations that you're talking about, and they seem so real and so friendly. It's like just talking to a friend basically. I've gotten like quite a few feedback, especially there were a few people who heard my podcast in my current company, so it was like amazing to hear that and to get the feedback, and the support is like crazy. I appreciate it absolutely. Even if I just have like 20 listeners at this point, I'm truly grateful to you guys. What's up, everybody? This is Katbamna Aditi, and I am your host and host Aditi. We talk about anything and everything, and in today's episode, we will be talking about online dating, sex, recent life updates, what I'm generally up to. It's like I used to do a lot of like life updates and just updates in general when I was on YouTube creating content. The shift has been like still surreal to me because I used to be very careful about what I spoke and what I did not speak. That too on a video. Like, the internet policing is there. Like, I think that way podcast is like much comfortable space to be in, much safer space to be in, less judgment, and I can talk about anything, which is great. And hence even the name Kai Panadati, anything Aditi. All right, let's talk about sex, because I am somebody, I used to not talk, like that was still like a taboo topic. I used to not talk about sex at all, that too online, openly, on social media, on YouTube, on Instagram being my main platform as of today. Like, I'm finally, I feel, coming into my power and being more open about it. Like, there's nothing to be ashamed about. It's something that you honor. It's how even you've been made as a human. Like, two people had sex and boom, you were born. Like, so why do we still consider it like a taboo? It's a bad topic. Like, I don't know. It's a lot even for me to process. There's a lot of undoing. Like, you learn things a certain way and then you realize, okay, no, this is wrong, and the unlearning itself takes a lot of time. And baby steps, that is what I tell myself, baby steps. Sometimes I really struggle with talking, which is crazy for me because I do consider myself an exceptional communicator. All right, you think people know about sex, considering we are like what, 1.3 billion, crossing now that mark? And then then I followed Seema Anand. This, she's basically a storyteller on Instagram, and I was like, people knew, but then she started to prove me very wrong, like very, very wrong. So she describes herself as the sexual health educator, and she's also a mythologist. The silly questions she has to answer have been like, it got me, like it got me frustrated, it got me laughing out loud, it got me angry in certain way, because the question she gets, oh my god, like, so like these questions make me so angry. Ki if we had like a proper sex education system in place, we would not have even like come across such questions. So for example, somebody asked her, madam, will something happen to me if I were to have sex with an older woman? Can you believe that somebody legit asked her this question? And there was this another anatomy question that was asked, ki if madam I have sex with this woman, will her hips become wider or bigger, or will her boobs suddenly become bigger now that I've had sex with her? Which, like, it just got me banging my head. Like, okay, I understand. See, no question is bad question. The judgment is not coming from a bad place. I am just thinking ki if there was, a better sex education system in place, and we were more open to talking about such myth, like these myths need to be busted pretty early on. Like there's so much wrong information that is already out there, which is so wrong in so many ways. Like that's scary. She is just, an incredible person to follow online. Her content is at peak, the best, the best Instagram has to offer today. Like please go check her out. Like her name is Seema Anand Storytelling, and she even recently collaborated with like one of my favorite fashion designers on Instagram. His name is Karan Torani. That collection, that concept, that idea, the execution, the stories, and every single video that she created with Torani was so like ethereal and beautiful and so well put together, shot well. The sari that she wore, like every single thing that she was talking about even in the video was so sensual and seductive, and like it, like I would absolutely like remember some collaborations are like pretty like quickly doing it and like letting go, and like some campaigns you really truly remember, and this was one of them for me. This is coming from somebody who've been in social media marketing, and as a marketer, like it was my profession. Social media was my professional job, at least for like past 10 years, and so this campaign was worth it, like absolutely worth a look. So please do go check out that campaign. I absolutely love her, Seema Anand Storytelling. I think you'll learn at least one or two things from just watching her and interacting, talking with her. Yeah. Now we're gonna talk about this guy I actually came across recently on Bumble. Since we already like getting in this podcast talking about online dating, so I thought to mention this recent interaction because it was funny in a way, and also there was a lot going on. Okay, and also like I'll share more as we move on towards it. Okay, so let's name this guy Paritosh, Paritosh. Paritosh. I'm of course hiding his real name. His age was 37. Professionally, he was lawyer. He studied it from one of the Ivy League institutes in the US of A, which, like, in a sense, was very very impressive. Like, I did not like I was impressed. I'll just say that I was very impressed, but I did question the fact that he came back to India and he said that now I'm working here. So it did not ideally make sense at all to me to go there to study law and then come back. I mean, the laws are different from country, state to state, and I don't think ideally you can practice the law here. Like, you gotta like study again to be a lawyer here in India and then practice it. We never came across, I think, even we did not even dissect further. All he said was, I did not want to do manual labor, and I came back and I was like, manual labor, what? And he said, I don't want to cook and clean the house and all of that. And so I could not find somebody to do that for me. And I was like, okay. Then he said, and that is why I'm here to like find a wife. And then I was shocked for a minute. And then he said, no, I don't want my wife. I don't want to get married so that she could come cook and clean. I was like, whew, glad he cleared that up, because I was gonna go off on a rant right there. So basically, he left the US for a buy. He wanted somebody to come do that, all of that chores. Makes sense. I would not judge him, because I've been there, I've seen that, and manual labor is cheap here, and you easily get like a housekeeper who would come cook, clean everything. And it's very difficult, especially like if you don't earn, if you're living there, it's very difficult to maintain. So it makes sense. And also you have to like, cleaning to ek cheez hai, but then you also have to buy the grocery, and also have to cook by yourself, and like you have to feed your body and your brain, and also work outside, and like itna sab nahi hota hai. And it made sense that he moved back. That's fine, like I was okay with that, like it's his deal. All right. So before he unmatched me, yes, he did, by the way. Yes, he did. That is the only reason we are even talking today. I asked him about why not matching with somebody, with a woman of his own age. I told him, no offense, why not match with a woman of your own age? I was just curious as a human, as a female, and so even my intention was to understand what is the fascination of older men trying to rope in, or having that wide range of younger women. Like, in a pool of candidate, if you are 37, it is understandable. Chal, plus 3 minus 3, it is understandable. If you're looking plus 3 minus 3, I think it's a good range. But if you're 37 and your age range, desirable age range, is minus 10 and plus 2 plus 3, that's wow. I think that is a privilege that women don't get. I truly believe that. Anyway, so my intention was to just understand the fascination of these men trying to find even younger women for themselves. Like, it just reminds me of this book, Lolita. I'm sorry, I'm trying to not compare. Of course it's a story. I'm gonna try not comparing it at all. Anyways, he responded saying he wasn't against dating women his own age, and his last message was, he said this: it's not like I'm Leonardo. So if you read the news, you will get the reference basically. And if not, ऐसा meme चल रहा है meme community में कि Leo dumps women as they hit 25. ऐसा कुछ तो भी meme है. Please correct me if I'm wrong. 25 या 23, I don't know. It just got me laughing. Like, I sent him, basically I responded when he said ki it's not like I'm Leonardo. So mera response was, I sent him 2 laughing emojis. Okay. And then suddenly something came up, like work wise came up, so I closed my phone and I got up and went from one place to another and did my thing, and then I opened the app back again, and like next, I think 5 to 7 minutes later, he had already unmatched me. Like, I never got to explain when he asked me कि सेम क्वेश्चन टू यू, वाई एम आई इंटू ओल्डर गाइज. ही आस्क्ड मी दिस कि तू मेरे को पूछ रही है, मैं तेरे को पूछ रहा हूँ, वाई आर यू इंटू ओल्डर मैन. Like, he did not either have the patience or was too embarrassed or felt too exposed. I have understood this. Sometimes people are really afraid of being vulnerable, like showing and accepting who you truly are. It is scary. It is genuinely scary. I won't like disagree with that. So I just told myself, whatever happens for the best. I say my gratitude. I appreciate and thank the universe. Okay, conversation happened. I'm grateful that even I get to have conversations, and that's more than enough for me at this point. So I just say my gratitude. I move on to the task in hand, and that is how pretty much it ended. So मुझे ऐसे लगता है कि one of the biggest red flag क्या है पता है आपको, कि bashing a woman in front of another woman, like name calling them, labeling them borderline depressed, just basic डिसेंसी नहीं है, मुझे ऐसा लगता है। ये मेरे लिए सबसे बड़ा रेड फ्लैग है। लाइक why can't it be as simple as we did not vibe, so we unmatched? We did not have anything in common. We did not have our trait values or our deep found values were pretty different, and so we did not make any sense to match well or something like that. Like, why do you have to bash other women? Why do you have to name call them? Why do you have to label them? Like, what are the odds that he wouldn't do the same to me? अब वो कोई और पर्सन से मिलता है मेरे बाद and he would talk crap about me. Like, the circle goes on and on and on, right? So there was another guy I met in this pool of arranged marriage, and this guy told me he talked to so many women and they were so dumb. Like, his words, not mine. And I honestly wanted to say, does this really get you laid, bro? Like, do you think this turns on women? Why couldn't he just simply say, our thoughts were pretty different? Or I was looking for something totally different and we did not match at all. Also, imagine talking about real estate on the first call. Like, he legit started talking about real estate. घर लेना है, नहीं लेना है? बोलो, क्या बात कर रहे हो? I was in shock. I was like, oh my god. एंड दैट टू फिर जजिंग मी, मतलब मुझे ऐसे लगने लगा कि यार ये मेरा अब जजमेंट कर रहा है कि इज ही जजिंग मी एंड माई इंटेलिजेंस ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ रियल एस्टेट एंड वेदर आई वॉन्ट टू बाय द हाउस और नॉट. लाइक, सीरियसली. So, when I shared all of this chaotic stories with my friend, she shared with me her story. Her story is interesting. So she told me she once actually, matlab, this was like मेरा जो conversation हुआ है, that is only like a brief conversation on dating app. She actually dated, my friend actually dated a guy who was much older than her. The problem she consistently faced dating an older man was being called immature, that too frequently. The minute she got vocal about issues, she was labeled immature. Imagine that she did not have any knowledge or experience to deal with issues and that she was young. Then why date her in the first place, bro? Like, damn the guy and his judgment. Like, आपको अगर यही बोलना है कि आप इमेच्योर हो वेन एवर शी इज़ वोकल, तो डेट ही क्यों करना है ना? पर फिर वाई डेट सच यंग ह्यूमन? डेट योर ओन एज. वाई? what is the reason? Is sex the only reason to date younger women? I don't get it. At certain point, sex would eventually evaporate. Your hormones will calm down. Like, the only thing that will be left is love and respect to each other, for each other. I don't understand this. So, maturity was a problem here. Like, because my response to why I prefer to date older men would have been if Paritosh, of course, if Paritosh had not unmatched me, I would have said कि I appreciate the stability that the partner brings in. Stability, maturity, understanding of priority कि कौन सी चीज़ कब होनी चाहिए और कौन सी चीज़ कब नहीं होनी चाहिए. And the independence, just basic human rights. I've started to realize people don't know what they want. Like, if you're 30-year-old guy, you have time. Like, in an ideal case scenario, you might want to wait for another 4 years to get a better perspective of yourself and the world around you, and still be in an arranged marriage, getting married to a 25-year-old. Like, it's the kya bolenge, the index is that far wide and huge. So this is frustrating because this age range is the same age range that it is not available for a woman. Like, so if I am 29 right now, I cannot be looking at guys who are -3, -4. Like, see, I'm open to it. But ideally, in an very ideal case scenario, people usually look at +2 to +5. Matlab, 5 साल का difference, I think that is the max people go for. बट एज रेंज मिलता नहीं है ना. लाइक इफ आई एम a guy and if I'm 29, so I can look at a woman who's like plus 2 plus 3 2 3 years older than me, or minus 10, like 21 22 year younger than, मतलब 8 9 साल छोटी है मेरे से. सी द एज गैप. लाइक इतना इतना ज़्यादा एज गैप का प्रेफरेंस लड़कों को मिलता है बट लड़कियों को नहीं मिलता है, विच आई जेन्युइनली स्ट्रगल अंडरस्टैंडिंग. या since we are already here and talking about online dating, I wanted to also mention about personality types, because this is a test I want you all to take. So are you all guys aware about MBTI tests? So basically there are 16 personality types and you have to answer like 100 questions, and it tells you about your personality, whether you are an introvert, you're extrovert, people of like certain personality types ki what career would be best for certain people, and you know what relationship or how they are in a certain relationship, and how does the dynamic of family works, and like more such fun stuff. It's fun to read. You can get this tested, like it's free test. You just have to answer like 100 questions. The website ka naam hai 16personalities.com. If you have time, please go. Don't get frustrated with the test, I know. Just go for it. Whatever your gut says, do not overthink the test. Whatever your gut says first, jo bhi aata hai, just go for it. Don't overthink the test. And it's pretty fair, pretty easy test. Okay. So my type is an INFJ, which I started looking more into, and turns out my type is pretty rare. My personality type is pretty rare. That's like I dug more deeper into it, ki why and how and what, basically. So it is said that there are only like 1% people in the world who are INFJs. So INFJs are basically the diplomats. And when I mentioned this to my mom, she was like, you want us to now forward this personality test to guys? I was like, yeah, why not? Sure, please, why not? Go ahead. But like, no, seriously, like, go take the test. See, you guys, the listeners, please go. Like, take the test. See what you get. Come back. DM me your personality type. I want to know everything. So, one thing I have understood well being an INFJ is that I'm often misunderstood. Like either because I don't talk that much like in person, or if I do, like people don't have the patience to dig deeper than the surface level material that I give. So the prime example was Paritoshka. Like, does this make sense? He could have dug deeper, he could have asked further questions, he could have like waited another 5 minutes before unmatching, or maybe it wasn't just meant to be. Anyways, like you got to dig deeper than what you see. Okay, the other thing I looked into was career, because I really like, I used to really worry about the direction of it, like where do I want to go, and like now I'm like much calmer, I understand. And you know, according to even this personality type, INFJs, when I took this test, the people who are INFJs, they are mostly into communication. So they can be counselors, they can be psychologists, they can be into hospitality, nursing, nurse, more like the role was more about like connecting. These people were into more about connection with other people and having to use their voice, being vocal. Like whatever you do, your main role is around people connection and communication, which is basically, you know, what I even am leaning towards currently. You know, for a second I even considered to become a psychologist, because I truly wanted to help out people in the best way possible, just heal everyone, like send good vibes. And I realized I'm such a big impact that if I were to hear more stories, I might start crying, like I would be a huge mess. All right. And you know, it was not easy. Like psychology in itself is not like an easy topic to even talk about it, and that too, it did not come easy to me. So I even reached out to a friend telling her, hey, can you tell me more about psychology and how it is and what it is? And like, she told me, I got a book, I read it, I knew it was not meant for me. Like if I was destined anyways to do psychology and be a counselor, I would have done that already. Like, and that too, I might have started quite early on. Like, I questioned myself, why did I pick up the camera and started creating videos? Why that form of art? I have been, now that I realize, I have been in the broadcasting industry for 11 years. And it absolutely makes sense to continue being in communication and broadcasting because I'm already good at it. And so things will come easy to me. Of course, not as easy, but not as difficult as psychology. That's like a whole different branch. Matlab, if I were to even go into that field, I would not have been able to back out of that. Like, yeah, if you think about it, like, I would not have been able to back out and try something else. So I think this is the right easy that I'm talking about. Career is a topic, for another day. If you want me to talk about it, please let me know. For now, I think I want to bank it in my bank and probably revisit it later. In some personal updates, there was an Amazon sale, and there are still Amazon and Flipkart and a lot of great sales happening. I got 2 new books. I got like a incredible jewelry neck piece from Tribe Amrapali. I'm so excited about it. It's like the most beautiful, gorgeous piece of investment that I've ever done. I got the book that I was excited about, Law of Attraction. I finally have it. I usually used to borrow the book, and I finally own a copy of it. I'm so happy. Like, I'm super, super even grateful to have such material things. Like, I love money and I love everything that money brings in my life and experiences it brings. So I'm truly, truly grateful. Life have been very, very kind to me. Touch wood, I absolutely am grateful for whatever I have. Last week my mom actually fell ill, like real bad. We had to like get her admitted to the hospital, and I like spent 3 to 5 nights, I think, sleeping on the couch just to make sure that she was okay. So I was there. The couch was super velvety and it was super hot, and I'm just glad the days are done, and she's okay now. I'm just so grateful even for the universe. So things are fine. She's okay. She's thriving. She is a champ. Difficult times do make you realize a lot about life, love, and how vulnerable us humans are, and like we can die any minute. Like, life is precious, you guys. All right, that's it, for this podcast episode. I'm truly grateful. If you're not following me on Instagram, it's at Aditi with a ADITI HIHIHI. So it's a triple HI. That's it, you guys. Until next time, everybody. Peace.